Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Stephen Stokes. Did you know that 70% of your immune system is made up of tissues that are located in the gastrointestinal tract? It's one of the many reasons the gut is so important to health and longevity. So, a key factor in that health is the gut flora, also known as the microbiota. This is a diverse community of bacteria, both good and bad, that live in the system, that live in your gut. Keeping this community of bacteria balanced is important, especially if you're experiencing symptoms of gas after you eat, indigestion, burning stomach sensations, or bloating. Now, surprisingly, and this is something I was never taught in school, more than 90% of the neurotransmitter serotonin is found in the gut. So it's not in the brain, where we traditionally associate all neurotransmitter production, right? But in the gut. And it's made by these tiny creatures, the bacteria. Now, once you really understand this, it becomes apparent that if we're trying to help people who are suffering with conditions like anxiety or depression, then we really need to be treating the gut as well. And I've seen this in my clinic all the time. People come in with gut problems, and as a side note, they tell me that they're also suffering from depression or they have anxiety, but they never draw the correlations with the gut. And just like a miracle, once they get the GI flora balanced, these horrible conditions improve. Now, not in everybody, right? And I'm not saying that. It's complicated. These conditions like depression, they really resolve best when you work with your doctor and a therapist. And these can be life-threatening disorders. They really deserve an integrated approach. But I'm just suggesting that your gut bacteria may play a role. And I think, honestly, it's the biggest role. But as always, with everything I say in these videos, opinions vary. But I've seen this relationship in patients for many years. In fact, when I'm approaching a chronic condition, now I usually just start in the gut. And if I can get that balanced, then I find that many other symptoms, even ones that don't seem related, things like joint pain, for example, or as I mentioned, anxiety, these things just resolve, or at least they greatly improve. Now, this is a new science. I'm not suggesting that I know everything there is to know about this, but I do have experience in treating patients. I've been doing it since 2001, so I started implementing a very specific treatment program to help these cases that I call the weed, the seed, and the feed program. So it's 6 weeks in length. It's easy to implement, and you can do it yourself with the end goal of balancing the GI flora, meaning that we want to weed off the bad bacteria, right? We want to get rid of those. Then we want to plant the seeds for the good bacteria to reproduce. And then we want to give those good bacteria the food necessary for multiplying, right? Thus the weed, seed, and feed program. The whole cycle runs 6 weeks. And it's critical, right, for people engaged in things like antibiotic therapy or chemotherapy. Now, I'm not suggesting you don't do chemotherapy, not at all. What I'm saying is if you're taking a lot of antibiotics or if you're in chemotherapy, you've got to understand that those treatments, and those treatments really take priority, obviously, right? But those treatments will wreak havoc on your microbiota. They basically are going to kill a lot of the good bacteria in your gastrointestinal system and lead to problems. So if you're engaging in some therapies like chemotherapy or antibiotic therapy, then this weed, seed, and feed program is going to be something you definitely want to look at. Okay, so I'm going to outline the program now, and I'm going to give you a written copy of this on my website. You can download it, and that's going to have all the links for anybody that wants to engage in the program. You can pick up the products. Again, it's a 6-week program. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll get the patients on general digestive support. Now, I usually don't like to use an acid product for this, but instead I like using bitters. Bitters influence your own body to make more stomach acid, and it's just easier on the system. These are going to immediately improve digestion by stimulating gastric juices and bile. And I recommend a product called Digestive Forte. Just take 1 tablet before every meal. And the Digestive Forte contains gentian root, tangerine peel, ginger, feverfew. There's some wormwood in there. But most importantly, it's in the correct extraction and dosage needed to invoke a safe clinical response. Emphasis on safe, right? And again, there's no acid in these tablets, so they're very good even for those who are sensitive to traditional acid-based digestive enzymes, like this guy. I don't necessarily do well with those types of digestive enzymes, but I do very well with digestive bitters. So you're going to start taking those right away, one with each meal. Now, we're going to start the weeding phase. For the weeding phase, you're going to take 2 consecutive days per week. And the goal here is to kill off the harmful bacteria. We're going to use gut flora complex to do that. We're going to take 3 soft gel tablets 2 times a day, and this is a unique supplement. It's going to cleanse and promote healthy intestinal environment, where you're going to use things like oregano, anise oils, angiographis, and philodendron, and it works fast, and again, it's safe. You're going to need 2 bottles of this product to take over the 6-week treatment. As a side note, look, if you're suffering from a very specific type of infection that you know about, if you know you've got worms or parasites or some specific nasty that you know you have, then just reach out to me, and I may actually recommend a different product other than Gut Flora Complex, depending on what you have. But in general, for most people, Gut Flora Complex is going to do the job perfectly, right? So you're going to take that. It's going to give you the least side effects, and it's going to help to literally weed out the bad bacteria. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to do a seeding phase, and that's going to be 5 consecutive days a week. This is where you lay the foundation to grow helpful, good bacteria. I want you to use a product called Pro-Symbiotic and take 3 capsules a day. This contains a blend of 4 research-supported probiotic strains, but it also has a little bit of prebiotic fiber in there to support overall gut health, and it's going to improve your nutrient digestion and absorption. During that 5 consecutive days that you're doing the seeding phase, you're going to also do the feeding. So you're going to seed and feed at the same time. And for the feeding phase, it's real simple. You're going to take whole food fiber, 1 level tablespoon, put it in a blender, drink it once a day. And this is going to contain both the soluble and the insoluble fiber, but it's from a nutrient-rich whole food. And that's going to promote regular intestinal mobility and elimination. It just is going to provide the foods for the microorganisms in the lower GI tract to reproduce. And this is much better for you than something like selenium husks, which, by the way, selenium husks, the bacteria can't eat that. So if you're taking Metamucil or something like that for gut health, it will help with motility. It'll help by getting the stuff to move through the colon. But those bacteria, just so you know, they don't eat that product. That just goes right through. So we don't want that. Okay, so we're going to combine this weeding with the seeding and feeding. We're going to do this for 6 weeks. You can go to my website. You can get the full protocol printed out. All the links are there. Use the links to get the exact products I mentioned. You can buy them directly from the source, which is standard process. Let me know how you do if you do this protocol. Most people will see some good results starting in as quick as week 2. So usually it works very good. And if you're not suffering from any GI complaints, it may be worth doing it anyways. I like to do the program twice a year just to sort of replenish and clean and help my gut. Just make sure that I don't get any nasties that are growing there, keep everything balanced. Works quite well for that. Please subscribe to my channel, give a thumbs up, check out my website where there's lots of free information, book downloads, products, and also there's a chat feature on there. You can talk to me directly. I can give you some recommendations. There's no charge for that. And there's also a systems survey on there that if you fill out and mail it to me, or email it to me, I should say, I will evaluate that and give you a detailed breakdown of recommendations. Again, all at no charge. So nice speaking with you. Thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.